Yeah.
Oh, I will. Here you go.
Roll call.
Good.
Maggie Loney,
Here.
Michael Gaspar,
Present.
Pat Purpose. Here. Joe Milano.
Here.
Randy Santorelli.
Here.
Lorraine Stevens.
Here.
Jim Janowski.
Here.
All present.
Correspondence, President.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort through a couple things first. I think, you've been provided in advance with copies of most of this, so let's, you should know what I'm referring to. First of all, you got notification of both your annual pension plan MMOs. With regard to the police pension plan, your suggested MMO obligation for 2016 is $30,152. And on the non-uniform pension is $5,324. So that needs to be officially acted upon and approved. Sharon, was there a letter from the actuary with the one, or,
All the papers are there with.
you know what, maybe they got out of order. I can't recall.
The one for the
Normally there's
actuaries.
an annual letter that comes with it from the actuary. Oh, I'm sorry. It is attached to the police pension one from AFG Pension Administration, giving you the actuarial evaluation that they're recommending. I didn't see it on the other one.
Okay, I don't think council has that page.
Fire Barber had provided that. Okay? That would be on for approval on Monday night. You notice that the Lackawanna County Association of Boroughs are planning to meet on September 17th, Thursday, September 17th at the Reader Room.
Yes.
Sharon, was this the one that was the bill? Which one was the bill?
No, I took the one out that
Oh,
I
you took
said
it
was
out,
a
okay.
bill. They still have it, but you
So
don't.
I'm gonna hold off, there's a bunch of estimates in here on paving, and I'm gonna let, is someone, Randy, were you planning on maybe addressing the paving issues? Because I'll hold off on these.
Not tonight.
Oh, you weren't? Well, how about as far as deciphering them, because we have a couple different ones. We have, looks like there's a Winthrop Street project bid. And then we have the municipal park bids, there's a couple of those.
That's the track, that's the trail.
The track, yeah.
Yeah, we are going to, we got 3 bids and we have a little bid that we're probably gonna act on Monday.
Okay, so, all right, then I will address them. I didn't know, do you want to address that during your report or discussion? Well, let me just say that we have 3 bids on the trail, the municipal park. We have Bear Owen, $4,990. We have Lenwood Snitsky,
$6,300.
right? And Stefersky paving for $6,500. And they're not bids. I mean, we're using the word bid. It's just quotes. So there was 3 of them to ask. Now the other one for Winthrop Street is from Rock Bottom. I don't know. $11,800.
Yeah, I mean, that's an emergency. That's something that we could.
Okay. Received a letter from the Scranton-Lackawanna Human Development Agency. Sam Sakasi had sent up some guidelines on the emergency food assistance program if the borough is interested in, I guess, being a sponsored site. Is that what it is, Sharon?
Yes.
I don't. No obligation. It's interesting that they submitted a PA Department of Agricultural form that's in Russian. And they attached it to the application. Somebody hit the wrong button. So that's for your consideration. We have a letter from Lackawanna County Commissioners, all three signed it. Just FYI on ambulance dispatching. It appears they may have sent this letter to all municipalities, although I'm not sure, but just reminding you that in accordance with Pennsylvania law, if we enter into an agreement for ambulance services with a private ambulance provider, the dispatchers must dispatch an ambulance from their contracted provider. And the point of that is that right now, the 911 center uses a dispatching protocol for advanced life support ambulances based on their location. They have GPS tracking, which allows them to know exactly what ambulance is closer. Based on that, they are required to dispatch the ambulance that's closest to wherever the scene of the emergency is. So they're telling us and advising us that if you have your contract with your own private provider, that goes away. So they have to call the private provider, even if they're not the closest one to the call.
So do we have to take any action on it?
Well, I'm not sure. I think we need to get some information from the chief, fire chief, ambulance, to find out exactly what's going on, because there was, I know that they had done something for their EMS responses, contracting with Cottage Hose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means we have a contract, which means.
That would be considered, I think, a provider, contracted provider, sure.
Okay, that's a concern.
Yeah. So I think there was some dispute as to why maybe this letter was written, because there was some dispute over who's to be called and when and why. We really should make sure we look at that really close.
Absolutely.
Right. There was, the ambulance wars are happening again from
Yeah.
the 80s, and we're getting calls because the people are getting 2 and 3 bills because there's no billing agreements with some Commonwealth and Pennsylvania ambulance. They don't have billing agreements with each other. So the seniors more so are getting billed directly. So that's more than likely where that letter came from.
Thank you. Okay, folks. Okay, there's a copy of a letter from me regarding a enforcement issue. It's on the Front Street property. I'm pleased to advise I got some positive news in response to that building, the garage is going to be sold and ripped down in the very near future.
That's good.
Front Street, yeah.
That's very good.
Property owners entered into a contract with the buyer.
For demolition?
With the buyer who happens to live in the neighborhood, from what I understand, and likely is the first thing to ever go down immediately. On that note, Sharon provided me this week with some information that she found going back through some rural records and having to do with Front Street, well specifically Court Street, what was a paper street at the intersection of Court and Front. And I was not aware of this, but I don't know if any of you were, but back in the 90s, Borough Council vacated that lower portion of Court Street. So that was an ordinance that was passed by Borough Council based on my reading of the ordinance. It was a hearing that was held and advertised, and I think that the one step that probably wasn't done, because I've done tons of research on that area, and I've never come up with it, so it was never recorded. The next step would have been for it to be recorded of record, to put people on notice that it is no longer a paper street, because the tax assessment maps are still showing it as a paper street. So it's interesting, because I wasn't aware of it. We've had so many issues down there.
So how does that
This
affect
ties
those?
in with, by the way, with a complaint that was given by one of the property owners down there, the Mayans. I went over and met with them.
Yes, me too.
Investigated it, looked at it, and this ties right in with that whole problem as well. And I think this is going to be good news for them.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy to
Good. That's
talk to
good.
him more about that. So I think that, 'cause the law says that when you vacate, it goes to the property owners on either side.
Either side.
Yeah. And county had no record of that. There's just some FYI stuff from Lackawanna County Conservation District regarding the receipt of the general NPDES permits. This is not approval. The one is for the Valley View Business Park, the other is for invenergy. It just says that they've gotten everything they need and this, they can start their review for the permit process. We also received a copy of a letter following up on that from Lackawanna County Conservation regarding the Valley View Professional Plaza, regarding the NPDES permit. I hadn't seen this before, so pardon me for a minute. Maybe Andy can address this. Are you familiar with the letter, Andy, that you got from Jerry Stiles?
Yes, approval.
Where, so when we get to you wanna, this
Yep.
is a final
Yeah.
approval?
Yeah.
What else we happen to go?
Yeah, we have the permit.
All right, so why don't you address that, because I know you're gonna address council on that, so you could just put that in there. Okay? And then there's also, Andy, a technical deficiency letter on the soil and erosion, dated June
That-
25th.
That was actually prior to the,
So so this, the August 20th letter is addressing the June
Right.
25th? We're only we're copied on it, but,
no, we actually have the permit.
so will you address these when you
Yep.
talk to us? I'm just trying to get through the, there's a copy of this in the packet, Sharon? Municipal
Yeah,
utility
probably
line
has some. Yeah, they just got the first couple
You have that
sheets. Yeah,
from
the whole
STV?
application,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
It's an engineering company that was hired by PP&L to provide engineering services. And this is notification that they're required to give the municipality of their request for a permit to cross a stream with the electrical lines, Wildcat Creek.
More freaking electrical lines, huh?
30 days from the date of this letter to make comments. Now, was Tony given, was our engineer
Yes.
given a copy of this?
Yeah, he was sent everything.
And following, right in line with that is another notice from PP&L Utilities regarding a request that they made to the Public Utility Commission. To interconnect a new independent power producer to the electric grid. And this has to do with the invenergy plant, the petition for a waiver. Okay, I'm gonna read this and I'll digest this more, and if I need to explain any more on Monday evening or thereafter, so. It's dated August 13th. It's extensive. Okay, and then last I have, I'll just keep in one category, there are several letters regarding the energy in some form or fashion. There's a letter, an email from Jean and Linda Colick, a letter from an email from Frank Garvey, a letter from Mark Semke, a copy of a letter from DEP to Janine Pavlone, dated August 25th, a letter from Kathleen Fiorelli, dated August 27th, and a letter dated September 10th from Tom Fiorelli Jr. They're all in the That's it, that's all I have on correspondence.